You were watching the game as well, United Liverpool. Happy with the way United dealt with all the injuries and.
I think we should be more than happy. We got our point out of it. I thought they were there for the taking, and I've been a fan since 1974.
Wow.
For a strange reason, like they say, lost in the history in terms of what the actual reason was.
Yeah.
But I had a friend who was a Leeds United fan.
Okay.
And he used to go and listen to, I don't know whether you wouldn't need to in the UK, but here we had BBC World Service.
Yep. Okay.
And they had live on the radio every Saturday night. This guy called Paddy Feeney used to run that program for many years. He ran it for about 30, 40 years. And we used to sit in his house, shortwave radio, and listen to just one game. And it could be any game.
Yeah.
And not necessarily the United Liverpool games. But he was a Leeds fan. So I was a 12-year-old wondering, so who do I support? He was a smart guy. He said, you support Manchester United. Because perennial rivals. The next season we went down. And then, but he stuck on, He kind of stuck on, and afterwards, then it's been not easy. I'm surrounded by all Liverpool fans. My brother is, my cousins, I think, and everybody I know is a Liverpool fan.
Wow.
And because that generation.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
From the time of Shankly onward, I mean, Liverpool were the team, right?
Yeah.
They had all the success, they had all. So you naturally get your fan base. And now it's generations that follow.
Yeah.
Your father was, your grandfather was, the father is a son, so here it really is that way.
Yeah.
And if one of the siblings or anybody gets out and becomes a United fan, it's like, it's war.
Disown them.
War.
So Liverpool and United.
Yes, come, let's talk about it anytime.
You see them right now, two teams that have definitely changed over the past maybe season or two. Solskjaer with United and Klopp longer than that with Liverpool.
3 years.
Yeah. So do you feel that these two teams are headed in the right direction in terms of how they're getting things done?
Liverpool, yes. I think Liverpool probably the success of the Red Sox helps because then he keeps his attention in the US. So the owners, Warner and what's the other guy's name? They kind of leave John Henry, right? Yeah. Leave Liverpool to run, and I think it needs to be run by footballers, not by the Americans, not by American sports people. Arsenal is a clear example. But for United, we have been fortunate that although we all know how debt-ridden it is, it's got a huge amount of debt. But I think the Glazers have stayed, in that sense, away from the football side. But on the other hand, they never replaced David Gill, right?
So, that's true.
So it's not so much about Ferguson. Ferguson was a unique guy. I don't think you'll find another one like him. The Shanklys and all those were the days. They're no more. Now you need a whole team. You need a structure. You need probably somebody scouting properly. You need all this. And United don't have that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they are still hit and miss as far as transfers are concerned. Whereas Liverpool, I think because Klopp has had a chance to kind of put his plan, so he's got his targets, he knows like Naby Keita going 1 year. I mean, he may not have panned out yet, but I think he will turn out to be a good player. But, he's got a plan. Solskjaer is doing what he can with the existing guys.
Yep.
The key would be, is he a person who really knows the market, knows the players, knows the European market that I can pick this guy is going to fit my plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying he isn't. Maybe Phelan might help, but Phelan was also a coach.
Yeah.
He was not really a manager, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Ferguson, but Ferguson's retired. He probably hasn't seen football for the last 6 months as much as anybody else, right?
Yeah.
So that technical director is going to be key, but who that person is also going to be key, right?
Does that work for you?
I think we're going to take a little bit of a walk, show Stephen around a little bit too. We're going to head down here.
Oh, we found a place.
Continue our conversation.
We were talking about the whole director of football, correct?
Yeah.
Does that work for you? Has it ever worked?
It's not about, maybe the term is very loose. I'm no expert on this. I've not seen them. I'm not from that part of the world. You hear itself, we have enough issues as they are, even within our federation, let alone, right?
Yeah.
But you need to have I think you need to have a plan on how you expect your team to be set up.
Yeah.
I think that's
They've got
important.
to fit a certain model, haven't they?
And then and it's like running a corporation, right? I have a business plan. I put out my business plan, then I look at what are the components I need to execute my business plan. Now football, maybe that's oversimplistic for football. Because football, there's a lot of people, egos, talent. Talent is always not easy to. It might work in Spain, it might not work in England. These are issues that you have. But at least you must still have some sort of plan. And then you know the type of player that kind of will fit into your plan.
Steve, who's in charge of Liverpool? Is it Klopp? Is it someone behind the scenes? Is it a combination of everything? Who has the final say?
I think there's a combination of two things. I think there's a director of football. I can't remember his name now. Lewis, is it someone Lewis? But he was the person who bought Salah in.
Yeah.
He was the one who was insistent to Jurgen Klopp that he buys Salah because he fit into the system.
Yeah.
And even last season, at the end of the season, it was interesting listening to Klopp saying, I had to trust my guys, my scouts behind the scene, that he was the right man who would do well for us. He said, did I ever think he'd do that well? No.
Yeah.
I think he openly admits to that, but that's where sometimes Liverpool in the past have got it so wrong.
Yeah.
And they've also got it wrong with buying, not only buying players, but missing out on buying players,
Yeah.
not getting a deal over the line. And I agree, I think it's a massive thing within football now, is that your director of football has got to be someone where you pick the phone up and go, I'm going to get this deal done, I'm going to get it done in the right way for the club and make sure it gets done quickly as well.
Is that the problem with United? They took up this Galactico mentality of let's just go and buy the biggest names in terms of Sanchez. They obviously got Lukaku and things
Pogba.
like that, Pogba.
Yeah.
Not really buying the pieces for the jigsaw that they were building.
Yeah, I think when you buy players, they've got to fit into your system of how you want to play. Manchester United's problem at the moment is they don't have until Solskjaer's took over, they haven't been the Manchester United of old. They've been, under David Moyes, they've been a bit of a longer ball team. Under Mourinho, they've sat back and played deep. Van Gaal, I don't know.
Kept the ball. He wanted to take it home with him.
Yeah.
He was happy if you take the ball and nobody sees it.
Yeah, I don't know what he did. In a way, Van Gaal. I often watched his teams and wondered how they were playing.
Technical in terms of.
I think
Yeah.
the best thing that I would summarize him when he had that wine list in his folder when he was on pitch side. I mean, that just told you what kind of a person he is. And you know what? At the end, he did win an FA Cup.
Yeah.
You have to give him credit
No,
to that.
I think it's if you count trophies, then probably the most unorthodox managers have actually done very well. But
Yeah.
that's a different era. I don't think so. Alex Ferguson would have listened to anybody regarding a player who wanted to win one, right? But that's a different era. What's happened now is United. I've followed them since '74. Even when they were going down, they still played that system. They always had at least one, at best two wingers.
Yeah.
They always played the flanks. And this is something that even went before that.
Yeah.
You look at George Best, you go on and on and on. Most teams had it that way, even Liverpool. You had the highways, you had the Keegans, you had the Toshak, you had a combination which you had one tall striker, a very good finisher, and a good winger who used to carry the ball. And you had the Callagans of the world who will make sure nobody goes through.
Yeah.
So that was the foundation, right? A very good defense. But United kind of like, because of this chopping and changing of managers, but the system also changed. Now, if you have a manager, but the system kind of keeps. And
Very
this
true.
is what happened. The first generation of Liverpool, right? The whole Bootroom boys, they made sure that the system remained, regardless of who was sitting there. Whether it was Paisley, whether it was even Evans, up to Evans.
Yeah.
But we United fans are very appreciative the day Souness was made manager of Liverpool. We still remember fondly. That was where 29 years have come. But he changed it, right? He actually chopped and changed across. He kind of like didn't go back. And I think none of the new managers, David Moyes classic, takes everybody out from the back room.
Yeah, correct. You're right.
That was crazy.
It's just crazy because you just don't have anybody who's going to tell you what this play is all about.
Yeah.
It is important, right? Because these are characters. They're not just machines, you know. You can put them there, you're going to play this position. Some guys need to be told, some guys need to be scolded.
So you were not a fan of Jose Mourinho, the way he was dealing with players and with the media?
His winning mentality would be good. And for a while it was, no? Like they kind of like
Well, they had instant
they
success.
had
didn't they?
three or four trophies,
Second in the
whatever
league
trophies.
as well.
He used to count Charity Shield as a trophy, so I'll make it 4. he had that pension in that sense. But no, I think when I look at it from his standpoint, the day he joined, everybody was saying, and we all agreed, 2 years if he stays will be good, 3rd year he'll be out.
Yeah.
Because that's his track record. He is not a
Yeah, but the way-
developer of a team.
No, but the way he was dealing with situations and saying things.
Exactly. Only when things went sour. When things were fine, you should see him in his press conferences. You know, you watch MUTV, you can watch him with a smile in his face, everything is happy. He never had no consistency. Now look at Solskjaer after the PSG game. He had the same demeanor as he had after beating Chelsea.
Yeah.
Of course, happy. The other one, he expressed his disappointment, but demeanor in terms of how he talked about the players, how he spoke about the game, to me that his maturity at a
Yeah.
for him he's
I thought it was-
unknown, as far as this level is concerned.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. The
All
way
due respect
Solskjaer
to
spoke
Cardiff,
about
right?
it.
All due respect to Cardiff. Cardiff is not going to have the press like United is going to get.
No.
We love to have it, Visit Malaysia here and all, but
What did he learn at Cardiff for you?
A lot. I think often you can come away, and I think it's probably one of the things I said when he got appointed was he wasn't good enough to manage Manchester United. But then you learn from your mistakes. You go away, and it was a very tough time for him going in at Cardiff. He was on a hard into nothing at times.
Yeah.
And it was always going to be a difficult job. But he probably learned a lot about himself and his staff around him. Not many of them staff have come with him to Manchester United.
Yeah.
He's trusted other people. He's took Michael Carrick, he's took Kieran McKenna from the youth setup and promoted from within again, which is a very sensible thing to do.
Is there a case of, and maybe you experienced this yourself coming from Liverpool to then Blackburn and Aston Villa, this is the standard, this is what we're used to, winning, and then Solskjaer goes to say Cardiff, and
100%.
it's not the same. He can't have those levels of expectation. I think Roy Keane might have been the same as well.
Yeah.
Those players aren't up to that level, and the target is completely different.
And as well, when he went to
Yeah.
like Mulder, when he was there, they were top of the league as well. So he's used to high level expectations. He's used to a certain pressure. And players, when they're at the top, whether it's in the Norwegian league, the Belgian league, whatever it might be, they expect to win games, and that's no different when you're Cardiff. You don't expect to win as many as United are going to win. So you have to manage your expectation levels, and he can't do that on the pitch for the players.
Yeah.
He can only manage what he can manage with on the training pitch, and then when they step over that white line, he knows it's going to be a difficult afternoon for Cardiff.
Any person that gets onto the show
oh, okay.
gets the official Man on the Street shirt. It'll be handed by Stephen. Do you have a phone?
You want to get a photo?
Yeah,
Do you want a photo with the
definitely.
Liverpool player?
No, he's not wearing Liverpool. I'm fine. If he were wearing that, maybe not.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Superb.
Mate, absolute pleasure having you on the show. Your knowledge is
Superb.
phenomenal.
Yeah,